Welcome to Attached, a platform for adding breadth and depth to everyday living. I'm Yakov Danishefsky, and this is the Shovavim series, a special release of tools and principles to help increase self-understanding and control for a life of elevated Kedusha.
So once we've been able to see the thought, as we talked about in the last video, we're able to separate ourselves, the sense of self. I have a being, and then there's this thought that I'm thinking about. Once we've been able to create that separation between us and the thought itself, we're not getting rid of the thought, we're not trying to get rid of the thought, we're just trying to see the thought as a thought, simply as a thought. So once we've been able to do that, what we want to then begin focusing on is the awareness that thoughts come and go, that our mind, our body, our being is almost like, there's a famous poem about the mind as a guest house. It's almost like imagining the mind as a hotel, kind of on the side of the road, that people travel and come and go, and there are certain people who might come there very often, and they might stay for a decent amount of time. And then there are some people who come once every blue moon, and there are people who come in and out, people who just stop and stay for a minute and then they leave. And our mind experiences thoughts in very much the same way. Thoughts are not permanent. Thoughts don't stay here forever. Feelings are not permanent, and they don't stay here forever. And sometimes the hardest part, the most challenging part of the preoccupation stage is that we experience the thought of a need for something as if it really truly is a need that I have no other option on, I have nothing I can do about, and it is going to be here forever until I take action to act on it and satisfy its need. And the reality is really not that way. Thoughts come and go. We experience things at different times. If we allow it to be simply as a thought, we acknowledge it as a thought, we accept it as a thought, and then we move into the space of holding that thought lightly. There's different ways, if you even just imagine like holding something, gripping something, right? So I have my phone here, I can hold my phone in an incredibly tight way, I can be squeezing it to the point where there's no separation, there's no space, I'm holding it so tightly. And then I can start to let go a little bit, and I can loosen my grip, and it's still there, and I'm still holding it. I can hold it in a way that it's here, but I'm holding it less tightly. I'm clinging to it less. There's more flexibility, there's more space. Or another way to think about it is if you put your hand right in front of your face, covering your eyes, like I'm doing now, you really can't see anything else. You just see your hand. And the truth is you can't even really see your hand. You just see like a darkness. And if you start to move your hand away from your face, you can start to see your hand more clearly. But in addition to that, you can also see around you. You can see other things as well. And so what we want to start doing with our thoughts is when we're in that preoccupation stage, is we want to start to identify them, as we said, to identify them as thoughts. To recognize that these are thoughts, that I have a self, and I'm thinking about the thoughts. I am like this hotel, and the thought is coming and going. It's passing by. It's here today, and it will be gone tomorrow. It will be gone in an hour. It will be gone in 2 minutes, and it'll come back again. Rest assured, it will come back again. But when it comes back again, it will also be gone again. It will go again. And maybe it'll take a little bit longer to go. Some thoughts stick around for longer, but it is not permanent. It is not here forever. And there are other things that while this thought is here, I can hold it more lightly, I can distance it a little bit to the point where I can also see other things. So notice how I'm not fighting against this thought. I'm not actively trying to say, get out of here, I don't want to think about this. Instead, I'm broadening the space that my mind has access to. I'm making the canvas wider. I'm not trying to get rid of this color on the canvas. I'm trying to make the canvas wide enough that I can also see, this color can still be here, but I can also see the other colors. I can also see the other parts of it. And now I can start to notice that there are other things in my life too, not just this thought. There's also my other things that I'm interested in, also other things that are important to me, also other things that I enjoy, also other things that I have responsibilities to at this moment. I start to broaden the landscape of the world that I'm seeing, as opposed to what can sometimes happen within the preoccupation stage, is that my whole being gets so narrow, that I get so narrowed in on this thought, and I'm holding that thought so tightly, it's covering me so close that I don't see anything else. And then inevitably that leads to that I'm going to need to act on it, because there is nothing else in my world. There's nothing else in my reality, so I have no choice but to act on this. And so what we want to start to do is to distance that thought a little bit, to not get rid of it, but to see it as a thought, hold it more lightly, and make more space for there to be other things in my life, and an awareness that thoughts come and go, and an awareness of other things that are also present in my reality.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this, please follow us on WhatsApp, YouTube, or Instagram. All our podcast series can be found wherever you listen to podcasts. I'd love to hear from you, so please reach out with questions, comments, or suggestions, or to be added to our WhatsApp groups. You can reach us through email using Yakov, YAKOV, .attached@gmail.com, or on WhatsApp at 773-888-2413.